Hi learners! In today's video, you will learn how to get the area of an irregularly shaped piece of land on a coordinate plane. A video on finding the areas and perimeters on the coordinate plane on simple and regular shapes, like a square, a rectangle, and a triangle is out there. I would recommend that you watch it first. It will greatly help you understand this video. The link is down below. Strategies in analyzing and solving the area of an irregular shape is showcased to let you gain an understanding on how this is done so that you'll be able to successfully answer a geometry problem similar to this in the future. If your lesson is on finding the area of shapes on the coordinate plane, or if you have an assignment on this topic, or if you're preparing for a test in math, or a test in geometry in particular, or you're someone who's interested in learning math, then this video is for you. On a related video on finding the area and perimeter of shapes on the coordinate plane, we described an area as the space enclosed by the boundary taken up by a flat surface. The following are the formulas in getting the areas of some basic shapes like a square, a rectangle, and a triangle. For a square, area is S squared, where S is the length of a side. For a rectangle, area is L times W, where L is the length and W is the width. For a triangle, area is 1/2 B times H, where B is the base and H is the height. You must have observed the presence of two sides in all the formulas. This is because the flat surface is a 2D figure. The presence of the two sides also explains why the unit of measure for the area is unit squared or square unit. On the previous video, we have seen how to solve for the area of simple shapes like a square, a rectangle, and a triangle on the coordinate plane. Now, what about if the shape is an irregular one like this? How do we find its area? One strategy is to make the irregular shape regular. Wow, how is it done? We do this by breaking down this complicated shape into simple ones that you are familiar with and whose area you know how to solve. There you are, you know now the secret. Okay, so let us work on this simple problem so you will know how it is done. Let's go. Here's the problem. Rafi purchased a piece of land for his business. The figure shows the plan of the land with the location of the warehouse and the parking area. The coordinates represent points on a rectangular grid with units in feet. What is the area in square feet of the land that does not include the warehouse and the parking? Show your work. Okay, so figures given. As usual, we begin by reading the whole problem and may read it several times when needed to know what we're looking for, to determine what are given, and to figure out how the given information help find what we're looking for. What is asked in the problem, learners? You're correct. We're asked to find the area of the land in square feet that does not include the warehouse and the parking. What are given? We're given a figure showing the plan of the land with the location of the warehouse and the parking space. Furthermore, the diagram contains points with coordinates on a rectangular grid with units in feet. Okay, so let us examine the diagram carefully and see what we can do with it. Take note that we are to solve for the area of the vacant space, that is the area of the land that does not include the warehouse and the parking. Do you have an idea on which part of the diagram to start working on? Okay, let us start by determining the area covered by the warehouse and the parking. Then, we will work on the area covered by the whole piece of land. Afterwards, we will subtract the area covered by the warehouse and the parking from the area of the whole piece of land. Let's go. So we begin by solving for the area covered by the warehouse first. Look at the space covered by the warehouse, learners. What shape do you think is this? You're correct, a rectangle. Remember that the formula for the rectangle is L times W. That means that we need the measures of the length and the width of the shape. Now, what do you notice about the sides of the shape? You're correct. 2 of its sides are vertical and 2 are horizontal. Now you have to remember these, learners. When a side is vertical, we simply get the difference of the y-coordinates of the side's endpoints to get its measure. If a side is horizontal, getting its measure is simply done by getting the difference of the x-coordinates of its endpoints. Did you get it? Let us get the measure of the length. So the length is 50 minus 10. And this is 40. So the length is 40 feet. On the other hand, the width is 48 minus 5, which gives us 43 feet. We can now get the area of the land where the warehouse is. Do you agree? Plugging in the values, we have multiplying 43 feet and 40 feet gives us 1,720 square feet. Next, we get the area for the parking space. Take note that the shape for the parking is not a regular one. So we will break this shape down into something that we are familiar with. What shapes do you think are this? You are right, a rectangle and a triangle. So we will solve for the area of the 2 shapes and then just add them to get the area for the parking. Let's go. We start with the rectangle. Again, we need 2 sides to get the area, the length and the width. Getting the length, we have 48 minus 5. And this is 43 feet. For the width, we have 10 minus 0, which is 10 feet. We now plug in the values into the formula for the area of a rectangle. We have multiplying 43 feet and 10 feet gives us 430 square feet. Take note that we're still on finding the area of the parking space. Now, we will get the area of the triangle. Remember that the formula for the area of the triangle is 1/2 base times the height. So we need the base and the height of the triangle. To get this, we have to have the coordinates of the vertices of the triangle. Look at where the triangle is, learners. Are all the vertices of the triangle labeled? No, only 2 of its vertices are labeled. The other point needs to be identified, for this is needed in determining the base and the height of the triangle. Now, what are the coordinates of this point? Okay, so the coordinates of the point are 48, 0. 48 for its x coordinate and 0 for its y coordinate. Now, we can get the measure of the base. Thus, it is 55 minus 48. This gives 7 feet. Finding for the height gives us 10 minus 0, and this is 10 feet. Plugging in the values into the formula for the area of the triangle, we have 7 feet times 10 feet is 70 square feet. 70 square feet divided by 2 is 35 square feet. Now we can get the area for the parking space. So the area for the parking space is 430 square feet plus 35 square feet equals 465 square feet. With the values we obtained, we can get the area covered by the warehouse and the parking. Do you agree? So the total area covered by the warehouse and the parking is the area covered by the warehouse plus the area covered by the parking. Plugging in the values, we have adding 1,720 square feet and 465 square feet gives us 2,185 square feet. Thus, the area covered by the warehouse and the parking is 2,185 square feet. Now that we have the area covered by the warehouse and the parking, we have to solve for the area of the whole piece of land next. Let us look at the shape of the whole lot again. Its shape is not regular. For us to be able to easily find its area, we will break the shape into simpler shapes like what we have done earlier. What shapes can we break this down into? You're correct, a square and a triangle. We will solve for the area of each shape, then add the areas to get the total area of the whole piece of land. Let's go. We will first get the area of the square. Take note that we just need to know the measure of one side of the square in solving for its area, for all its sides are equal in length. Here, we will get the measure of a vertical side. Again, being a vertical side, we simply subtract the y-coordinates. Thus, S is equal to 55 minus 0, which is 55 feet. Plugging in the value of S into the formula gives us 55 feet square. Squaring 55 feet gives us 3,025 square feet. Thus, the area is 3,025 square feet. Now, we proceed by getting the area of the triangle. Again, we need to know the coordinates of the vertices of the triangle. So far, we know the coordinates of two vertices, but not the third one. Using the existing coordinates as our guide, the coordinates of the third vertex are 0, 55. To get the area of the triangle, we need to get the value of the base and the height. For the base, we have 55 minus 0, which is 55 feet. For the height, we have 65 minus 55, which is 10 feet. Plugging in the values into the formula for the area of the triangle, we have multiplying 55 feet and 10 feet gives us 550 square feet. Now dividing 550 square feet by 2 gives us 275 square feet. Thus the area of the triangle is 275 square feet. Now we can find the area of the whole lot. That is, the area is 3,025 square feet plus 275 square feet gives us 3,300 square feet. Okay, let us recap what we have so far. First, we have the area of the land that will be covered by the warehouse and the parking. And second, we also have now the total area of the piece of land. With those numbers, we can now solve for the area of the vacant space. The space that does not include the warehouse and the parking. That is the space that we're looking for. Do you agree? Okay, so let's do it. So, the area of the vacant space is equal to the area of the whole lot minus the area covered by the warehouse and the parking. Plugging in the values, we have 3,300 square feet minus 2,185 square feet is 1,115 square feet. Bingo, we got it. The area of the land that does not include the warehouse and the parking is 1,115 square feet. Remember this, learners, any complicated shape can be broken down into simpler ones. Once you have successfully addressed this part, any complicated problem can easily be dealt with. There you are, learners. I hope you acquired lots of learnings in today's video. Let us summarize what we have learned today. We have learned that, first, the area is the space taken up by a flat figure or shape. The area is measured in square units. Second, the following are the formulas in getting the areas of some basic shapes. Area of a square is S squared, where S is the length of a side. Area of a rectangle is L times W, where L is the length and W is the width. Area of a triangle is 1/2 B times H, where B is the base and H is the height. Third, the side lengths are vital in solving for the area of a shape on the coordinate plane. If a side is a vertical side, to get its length, simply get the difference of the y-coordinates of the sides and points. If a side is horizontal, getting its length is simply done by getting the difference of the x-coordinates of its endpoints. Fourth, when solving a problem, you must read it and may read it several times when needed to know what you're looking for, to determine what are given, and to figure out how the given information helps find what we're looking for. Fifth, when a figure is given, make use of it and modify when needed. It is there to help you analyze and solve the problem. There you are, learners. Hope this video helps. That's it for now. If you have any questions, leave a comment below and do not forget to like, subscribe, and share this video to your peers so others will learn too. Bye.